Hey there, welcome back to Total Geek Live Baltimore Presents. I'm Baltimore, and I am here today to talk to you about Black Vortex. Yes, this is the 2015 crossover between Guardians of the Galaxy and the X-Men. So this is kind of a fun crossover event, and kind of one that you didn't really expect, or thought that you wanted. But actually, and after you're reading it, and after the end, you're kind of like, yeah, I needed this. But this is a 13-part epic that takes place between the X-Men issues, Guardians of the Galaxy, Star-Lord, and Cyclops. So it's kind of a fun series. You kind of follow it through the different issues, books of themselves. And it's written by Sam Humphries with art by Ed McGuinness. So that's always a really great pleasure to see that kind of art. So we kind of start with this as, well, I guess, preface. The X-Men in this series are going to be the original 5 time-displaced X-Men. So if you're thinking you're getting kind of a fun, all the fun, cool X-Men, no, you're getting the time-displaced one. And if you like them, sorry. But you also get Kitty Pryde, so that's cool. Yay. So to kind of give you the preface for this one, billions of years ago, a Celestial visited an ancient race. I believe they were called the Viscardi. And they gifted them with a black vortex, which is kind of like this space celestial mirror. And those who submit were granted celestial powers. And they gifted the Viscardi with this, and they kind of went crazy with all these kind of powers, and ended up only one person was a survivor of the Viscardi race because everyone was killing each other, or there was no peace. So they basically destroyed and each other, and they kind of and the lone survivor decided to hide the vortex forever, so that it would never come into anyone's hands again and destroy other civilizations or people. All well and good until, come to the present day, and there's a character named Mr. Knife, and he wants to find it, and he asks Star-Lord to help thieve it for him. And at this time, Star-Lord, Peter Quill, is dating Kitty Pryde. Yes, Shadowcat of the X-Men is dating Star-Lord. And so that's kind of an interesting pairing, and kind of one that's kind of off the wall too. But it kind of works, except for the fact that this is the third Peter that Kitty is dating. This girl needs to stop dating Peters. And so she decides to help him out because she wants to find out what this object is and to stop them. And we do find out that Thane, who is the son of Thanos, that they want to keep it out of his hands. Mr. Knight wants to give it to Thane so he can kind of take over the world and get cosmically enhanced and all these kind of bad mamma jamma stuff. So they're trying to prevent that from happening. And so the all-new, all-different, time-displaced, original X-Men come into the picture. And while I think the time-displaced X-Men are interesting, I do feel like they have a limited shelf life and have kind of extended that far too long. But the concept is interesting, bringing them from the past into the future, into the present, and kind of seeing what craziness is going on. And, if they have a counterpart, what's going on with them. And it kind of leaves them kind of like, oh my God, what the heck is wrong with us? What do we do? Cyclops was a villain. Beast became, mutated and furry and blue and all that. And Angel, well, the less said, kind of the better. He had a crazy apocalypse thing, and is now kind of a weird blank slate thing. I don't know. It's still weird. Jean Grey is dead. She became Phoenix. Iceman is just kind of a weird loser, lovable, overpowered, but doesn't want to use it. So there's kind of fun things there, and other interplays. So they have this like weird kind of dynamic going on. And so when they come into contact with the Black Vortex, 3 of them submit to it. Angel and Beast, and then Gamora of the Guardians of the Galaxy submit to the Black Vortex, and they all become celestial, cosmically enhanced with different kind of iterations. Angel gets cosmic wings, fire wings, which is kind of a cool visual. Gamora gets kind of cool cloak and just kind of crazied her up a bit. And so they're still trying to figure out what's going on. Ronan comes in and steals the Vortex, so they have to kind of fight him and stop him from, whatever's happening. He takes it back to Hala, and then Ronan is banished by the Supreme Intelligence of the Kree because of different kind of reasons that were going on. So that kind of follows in a weird sort of light. Kid Nova, I call him, Sam Alexander Nova, comes into the fight and steals the Vortex from them to try not to get them to the Slaughter Lords, trying to keep them away from the Black Vortex. The Collector is involved because it's a cosmic event, and Collector always kind of meanders his way into everything. So Nova unwittingly gives it to Mr. Knife, who empowers Thane. And then all of Spartax, which is Star-Lord's father's galactic empire, the Sparta, all of them become encased in amber, which is part of Thane's cosmically enhanced power. And what we find out later is that Mr. Knife wanted the Brood to come in and infect all of the and cripple galactic empires. And the Brood are kind of like these sleazoid sort of xenomorph race. And they have a queen, and she lays eggs in people, and it becomes bad. And it's really often associated with the X-Men. But so this is a bad thing. We have this going on. And then you have Captain Marvel coming in, and she actually refuses the Vortex power. She doesn't want to be more enhanced. And I think that's kind of an interesting concept because she's had a lot of cosmic enhancement, celestial kind of tinkering within her own body. And I think rightly so, she decided to refuse any more enhancents, so to speak, which is kind of interesting for the whole storyline as a whole. So they're trying to fight Mr. Knife. They're trying to stop him from all these broods that are coming in, and they want to destroy the Vortex, but they need to use it one more time to continue. And one more person needs to be enhanced to kind of save the world. And Kitty Pryde decides to be the person. Because they weren't going to let Jean do it because of the Phoenix mumbo jumbo, and no one else was really, I guess, what should I say, strong enough to really take the cosmic enhancement and not go crazy. So Kitty becomes, cosmically enhanced, celestial enhanced, and she phases the entire planet and all the Spartoi out of, sync with each other. So they were out of the amber and then killed all of the Brood there. So she kind of like, wow, pretty damn powerful with that cosmic enhancement. So at the end of it, Gamora and Angel and Kitty, to some extent, although we don't really get any follow-up on it, and Ronan all keep their cosmic celestial Black Vortex enhanced powers. Angel does it because he saw what becomes of his older self, and if there's no way to prevent it, he's going to try it. So his idea was, well, if I have fire wings, that won't turn me into what that was. Which is a kind of interesting concept. We'll see how far it goes. I don't really care for it. I think it's kind of like a thing, but it does visually, it's appealing visually. So the Collector ends up taking Mr. Knife, and we also have Ebony Maw going with Thane, because he's going to kind of use his little powers to kind of influence him. So there's some pretty good, interesting concepts that come out of this. Star-Lord proposes to Kitty, so now they're engaged, as of the end of this crossover. So there you go. That's kind of like the crux of Black Vortex. Like I said, this wasn't my favorite of the cosmic events. I thought it was interesting because you do have X-Men and the Guardians of the Galaxy kind of teaming up into an interesting story. So it has some nice elements to it. There's a lot of character development and a lot of things that kind of build out of this, even though some have less relevance than others. But it is pretty cool. I would recommend you taking a reading of it. But let me know what you think about it. Did you enjoy Black Vortex? Was it compelling to you? If it was, let me know in the comments. If you haven't read it, go ahead and take a read of it, and then we can maybe chat about it a little bit more. So like, subscribe, comment, share, and as always, it's all geek to us. I'll see you soon.